welcome. I'm Kritika Saxena. I have a guest with me today who needs no introduction. He has been coined the father of Indian IT. He has been named amongst the 12 greatest entrepreneurs of our time, Mr. Narayana Murthy. From an avid reader to a philosopher to an IT watcher to an entrepreneur. So you've been across a gamut of sectors, a gamut of areas, a gamut of roles. Are you still a bull on the economy?
Well, I think so, because there are lots of things that have happened. For example, the IMF report said we would grow at 6.6%. The World Bank said it would grow at 7.2%. These are not bad numbers in the current situation. You know, SEBI has been working very hard to ensure that friction to business is reduced. So there are lots of good things. And then, of course, the GST implementation has gone off very well without any problems. Of course, it's credit to Infosys too.
Some problems were there, sir, in terms of the initial issues with respect to the smaller industries getting used to it, lack of clarity on what falls in what area. Do you think that government could have perhaps postponed or given the industry some more time before the implementation?
No, I don't think so, because it doesn't matter how much time you are given. Most human beings tend to do everything at the last minute. It's true in India, true in America, true in Australia. It doesn't matter where it is. It's always like that. Second, it is very, very important for all of us to remember that no matter what system it is, when you implement an information system like this, a compliance system like this, there will always be some teething problems. So we have to provide rapid reaction warranty teams. Those teams should work on 24/7 basis. And I'm very happy that Infosys was part of that effort. And I'm very, very happy that Infosys participated both in direct taxes. As you know, Infosys did the electronification of income taxes. Now Infosys platform is being used for GST, which is an indirect tax. So therefore, I think, I'm very happy about what Infosys has done. And number two, we should all realize that there will always be some teething problems. I am not that much worried.
Okay. There are estimates of 1 to 2% being added to the GDP by GST. Do you agree with these numbers? Because if you look at the other countries that have implemented GST, we haven't seen a significant jump to the economy, sir. Do you agree with these numbers?
Well, I think, the Chief Economic Advisors Committee is the one that looked at it very carefully. After all, he's a very well-known economist, highly accomplished, and therefore who am I to contest that? My own view from the sidelines is that when you reduce friction to business, which GST does, after all it's a value-added tax, then it is bound to make the life of the citizens better. After all, let's remember the slogan of our Prime Minister, minimum government, maximum governance, right? So this GST is in keeping with that principle. And I do tend to agree with the estimates of 1 to 2%, thanks to reducing friction to business.
Okay. There is a sense that the organized businesses will grow in 6 years, 7 years time frame, but the unorganized may either shrink, consolidate, or completely fade away. Do you agree with that thought?
No, not really, not really. Actually, I think this is an opportunity for unorganized business of a certain size, obviously. I'm not talking about street vendors, of a certain size, even the mom and pop stores, to introduce systems of accounting, to introduce systems of taxation, so that they are not harassed by the authorities, so that they can focus a lot more on their business, so that they can focus much more on serving their customers. So therefore, my personal view is that whenever you introduce any system like this, it is a win-win-win for all the three stakeholders, the government, the small businesses, and of course the customers.
A lot of foreign investors were waiting for GST to come in, but the new investment cycle seems to be dead right now. Do you expect there to be a revival? Do you expect there to be a revival before the next general elections?
You know, for the first time in the history of the world, well, let's say during the last 200 years or something like that,
okay,
we are seeing a situation where the entire world is experiencing problems in growth.
Okay.
Whether you go to US, whether you come to India, whether you go to Europe, whether you go to Singapore, Japan, of course Japan has been, in trouble for a long time. Everywhere there are issues of how to improve growth. So therefore, I don't think we should get too much worked out about the fact that we are not receiving as much of foreign direct investment as we all wanted. In fact, I'm the chairman of the Alternate Investment Policy Advisory Committee of SEBI, and thanks to the extraordinary open-mindedness of SEBI, thanks to the dedication of their chairman, their executive directors, their officers, etc., we are working very hard towards enhancing alternate investments into the country.
Okay.
I think there are
What are the
several
options
others.
then, sir? What are the options to bring in alternate investments that are right now being explored?
Well,
and
we are, well, this is, some of it is public because we have submitted report 1 and report 2. But the reality is simply this. First, you have to reduce friction to business. Second, you have to make it more attractive to outside investors. You have to make it more attractive to domestic investors, because we have to mop up a lot of domestic investments into the alternate investments. Third, we have to make it easier for venture capital players. Fourth, we have to make it easier for entrepreneurs. So we are looking at all these issues.
As an investor yourself, what are the sectors that you're bullish on?
I think India has to realize that it has a big competitive advantage in 3 or 4 major sectors. One is IT, clearly. Second is pharma. Third, you can say specialty chemicals.
Okay.
Fourth, perhaps in precision manufacturing.
Fair enough. As far as India-US trade relations are concerned, Mr. Murthy, given the Trump administration's recent changes, be it in terms of visa costs, be it in terms of tightening the border norms, do you expect India trade relations to sour in the near term?
No, I don't.
You don't?
Because I have gone through this in my 33 years of founding and nurturing Infosys. I find that there is only one antidote for all these concerns, and that is innovation.
You don't believe that the Trump administration could have a negative impact on trade in the country, in India?
Why would? You see, the reality, Kritika, you know better than I do, that the CEOs or CXOs of large corporations in the US, they have a signal responsibility to ensure that their investors get the right return as long as it's done legally and ethically. So therefore, they will flock to the most innovative vendors, most innovative partners, it doesn't matter what hue of government is in Washington DC or in New Delhi or in Beijing or in London, it doesn't matter. So therefore, all of us must realize that enhanced trade is the best way to bring two countries together. In fact, I would say that is what we should do even with Pakistan. So I am not that much worried about the administration of President Trump, simply because I believe that we have the wherewithal to bring the power of innovation, power of enhanced productivity, power of enhanced quality, power of learning, with us.